Oh, hello again. Um, I hope anybody that's watching this video knows the reference that I'm making, with a little bit of a theatrical difference. Blazing Saddles. I'm a big Blazing Saddles fan, and they have a line in there where they say, "Badges? We don't need no stinking badges." It's kind of a funny line. I've always enjoyed. I've always enjoyed that stupid airplane police squad and that kind of stuff. But I digress. Um, so today we're going to talk about the bubble from the bubbles that have been, most of the sports franchises out, or the sports leagues out there, are using the bubbles to successfully battle COVID, and for the most part, keep their athletes safe. The one major sport that decided they don't need no stinking bubble is MLB. And you notice MLB is having the biggest problem. And that's probably completely causation there. Not correlation, but causation. It's definitely one begetting the other. I think I'll tell you what, the bubbles are working more or less. I know people want normalcy, and I get that. But I will say this, and you saw in my last video, there's a lot of cost to this. There's a lot of cost in injuries and things of that nature when you go and you take your sport out of its rhythm. So, but I won't go into that, all over again. I'll say this, and then I'll get to my second topic here. But they're too fully invested now. Whether it's Tony the Tiger Clark, who just wanted to make sure they didn't lose a year of service time. Very short-sighted, in my opinion, the way that they've done things. But Rob Manfred, as I'm going to call him, probably been, if not the worst commissioner of baseball in history. He's close. He's giving it a run for his money. And I'll get into why in the second topic. I'm very, very draconian. He's getting cutthroat with minor league baseball. But we're gonna get into that in the second part. I'm rooting for him to succeed. I'm just rooting for him to get through the season healthy, and to get into next season healthy. And I would love to be wrong about all the injuries that I'm starting to see, and all of the problems and everything. I have reservations, but I don't wish ill on anybody. I want things to work out, but I don't like what I'm seeing at all, particularly in this sport. This sport has been the most displaced of all the sports, except because the NHL, they had their regular seasons and then they had to come back and finish them. MLB never started, so they got displaced completely and compressed. So, of all the sports organizations across the United States or North America, I think MLB is the one that should not have restarted. And I'm not so sure that any of them should have, but you know, um, you can make the case. You can make so much a better case for the NBA, the NHL, and everybody else who was so close to the playoffs that you may as well. You know, um, Nobody wants to give away a season completely. Um, and everybody that's in the league is dealing with the same exact issue. If it's a shortened season, they're all dealing with it. So it's still, there's no real asterisk for those leagues. But the MLB, I don't like what they did. So Manfred and Tony the Tiger aren't high on my Christmas card list at this point. I don't particularly appreciate either one of them. Um, just as I did back when they had the strike in '81. There are no heroes here, none, except maybe the players. The real heroes are the wives and the children of the players, and the wives and the children of the coaches and the staff that you never even hear about. So I keep them in my prayers and thoughts more than Manfred and Tony, the Tigers. So the reason why I have such a disdain for man fraud at this point is because as Baseball America is and this will be the second topic here. Baseball America is reporting there has been a behind the scenes negotiation with minor league baseball. Minor League Baseball has approximately 160 affiliated teams across the United States that range from range from AAA all the way down to Single A short season or rookie leagues and things of that nature. And given how many people this gives an opportunity to, those lower tier leagues, it's pretty important that there's some structure. In fact, some of the other leagues could do that better, like MLB does do that. They've done that well for years, and now they're about to screw it up. From what I'm looking at, it won't end the sport. It won't end the minor leagues. It's going to change a lot of stuff, but they're really cutthroat about this, and they're looking at trying to possibly just guys owning teams they paid $1 million, $2 million, $3 million for, and they're going to end up worthless overnight, and may not even be compensated for them. I mean, MLB ain't showing themselves well here. They're showing their derriere here. They don't handle this the right way, and from what I'm hearing from Baseball America, they're not. They're being very cutthroat about this, and I got to tell you, the MLB Players Association's noticing that. And collective bargaining agreement may not be too copacetic the next time. So man fraud, I don't expect to be in the job 2 years from now, 3 years from now, when you see all the chickens come home to roost for all the things that he's done over the past couple of years. And I don't appreciate the tinkering and the we've got to worry about people go out to see a game for 3 hours, and all of a sudden more people are going to go out to see the game if the game is done in 2 hours and 53 minutes. What kind of clown are you? I mean, really? Do we need a shot clock? Do we need a pitch clock? Do we need all this? No, it's an experience. You go to a game to get away. You don't go to a game with a stopwatch. So man fraud's on my list, man. I never had the proverbial hard-on for someone the way I have with this guy. Pathetic. Just to be positive, Peter Ueberroth was a very good, I think Peter Ueberroth back in the day was probably the prototypical guy that would be a much better leader of commissioner or commissioner material, let's say. No, but we get man fraud, and he's not even a gifted speaker. I mean, you get all the crap and you get none of the glitz, you get nothing. So it's pathetic. And while we're on the subject, maybe George Will would make a good one, although he's getting up in years. Condoleezza Rice would make an excellent commissioner. That lady knows baseball. And wouldn't that help from a public profile standpoint? So, and by the way, I just don't think you get worse than this one. Don't try. Okay, MLB, don't get any ideas and go looking for one that's worse, because I know that's kind of your jam. But hey, let's do better than this. Let's get rid of this guy. But anyway, long way around to say there's 160 teams in places that you can't even spell the names half the time. So this is what props the town up economically, and they go from being an A-ball team in the Midwest, for example, goes from that to being an independent league team, and it might take a couple of years to even get their franchise into an independent league. It can be I wouldn't say crippling, but it injures the town. It injures the state, and it injures the counties and the towns involved, because the economies are very dependent on this revenue. So this changes a lot of people. It changes the players. It changes opportunities for coaches, etc. So they're looking to go from 160 to probably 120 teams, and the most likely lost affiliations are going to be below Double A. So you're looking at your A-ball teams, your rookie league teams, your short season teams, all in A-ball. But I will say, given the quality, the fact that there isn't any quality of the play, and the fact you can't even get a guy to bunt when he's in the major leagues, I think we need more levels, not less, quite frankly. But they don't see it that way. So they're also trying to take control. The minor leagues have been independent of Major League Baseball since 1903, and they're trying to take that away from them and turn it into an MLB thing. So if they don't get their way, they're gonna basically let this agreement lapse, and then they're just gonna take over. They're gonna strong arm them. Quite pathetic, almost angering if you can get yourself to care. So what would fill the void if some of these teams, these franchises lose their A-ball status? There are independent leagues that they could probably enter, and that would be good. If they end up with 120 franchises being in the affiliation gambit, those independent league franchises could still have the light shining for the players. So players could still get, especially in this internet age, they could still get, some scouts out to see them. So that would keep them on the level of maybe where the college players are, mid-tier conferences or higher, perhaps, and still get a decent shot. I would say the foreign-born players, particularly your Dominicans, your Mexican, in the warm weather climates, not the European players. There are a few. I don't think will be affected much by this because a lot of them are signed. They signed the elite players, the Cubans. They're going to end up in Double A, so they're probably going to be up in the Double A, or maybe the full season A ball, and that may or may not be affected. So we'll see what happens with that. But this is something that as a coach and just as a fan, you watch what's going on, and you mismanage. You've had a mismanagement of the COVID situation for your Major League Baseball. You're tinkering like crazy. You're worried about every little detail. You push the season, push the 60 game season down everybody's throats in the end. And now you're trying to tell minor league baseball we're going to take over, mafia style. If he's competent and he's doing what's for the good of the game, that would be one thing. But nothing he's done has been for the good of the game. So, to me, we don't need no stinking man fraud. That's what we don't need no stinking of. Okay? So, I'll let you go for now. Again, like, subscribe, share if you think somebody could benefit from it. And I will holler at you later. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by. See ya.